Hello folks and welcome to Milton. I'm Joe Panola alongside Joey O'Connor today. Joey, quite a matchup today. If you like pitching, this is one you might want to tune into. Jack Cropper pitching for Norwood as the 17-seeded Mustangs will look to take down the number 1-seeded Milton Wildcats today.
Yeah, we're here at Cunningham Park, and as Joe mentioned, we've got a 1-seed versus a 17 seed. Norwood's coming off a win in West Springfield. Talk about a pitcher's duel as well, Joe. Norwood snuck out a 2-0 win. Junior Owen Descharnais pitched a heck of a game from what I understand. And now we have a pitcher's duel on our hands here. Many people are predicting a bit of a rock fight. Jack Cropper committed to Northeastern. Some people are projecting him as a top 10 round pick in the MLB draft this year. And Milton is coming with an ace as well, a Northeastern commit at the moment, a sophomore, a CM transfer. I've also been told Brown and Harvard have come to games this year to watch him pitch. So should be a heck of a game. We're excited. We got playoff baseball in our hands. It's June. It's nice out. Let's go.
Absolutely. Should be a fun one. Scott Longo certainly is one to watch on the mound for Milton today, Joey. And we'll see what he is able to dial up. Milton will take the field here first today as we get things figured away. For the Wildcats, they'll have Harrison Hinkle in left field, Liam McLaughlin in center, Reed Dexter is in right, Jimmy Fallon is at third base, Owen McHugh at shortstop, Sean McDougal, the second baseman, KJ Beckett is at first, Scott Longo doing the pitching, and Jack Finnegan is doing the catching. And for the Norwood Mustangs, leading things off, it is the first baseman, Sean Dittmeyer. And the first pitch coming, and Dittmeyer swings right through that one. So Longo coming right out after him, Joey.
Yeah, a little bit of a lineup change here, too, for the Mustangs. We're used to seeing Jack Dwyer batting leadoff the last few games. It looks like Coach Kevin Igo is going to opt for the senior leadership here at the top of the lineup with Sean Dittmeyer, Jack Cropper, and then Quinn Burgess, 1, 2, 3.
Pitch coming, and Dittmeyer with a little bit of a half swing on that one, and the count is quickly 0-2 in Longo's favor. You can see why he is looked at so highly by some of the scouts that Milton has had around here. Pitch coming now, and this one is a little bit high and tight. Good layoff there by Dittmeyer.
Yeah, good patience on the 0-2 pitch. Sometimes guys will chase out of the zone there.
Sean has been a consistent presence for the Mustangs in his 4 years here at the school on the hill as he takes downstairs 2-2. Really a true leader on this team, and he's done a great job as a captain and will look to continue his baseball career past his years at Norwood.
Yeah, Sean is actually committed to Wheaton for next year. I've known Sean since he was a 10-year-old in Little League as well, so got a soft spot for Diddy. He goes down there swinging, but
a lot of people have known him for a while. I had a pleasure to have him as a freshman in my physical science class. So nice to see him out here in a big game. But he strikes out. It's the first strikeout of the game, obviously, for Longo. And that will bring up the opposing pitcher, Jack Cropper. These two have heard their names mentioned together a whole lot in advance of this game that has a lot of people around this state excited. And Crocker will, it'll quickly be 0-1 against Cropper here.
Yeah, and for as much as people talk about Cropper's pitching, he's actually still a very good hitter. Sometimes you get those pitchers that specialize in pitching, they lose their hitting talents a bit. Don't get it twisted, though. Cropper can still mash a little bit. He's got a couple homers this year, a couple gap shots. We'll see if he can get some damage done here in the first inning.
He swings through this one, and quickly 2 strikes against him. But not just Cropper. We're going to see Longo hitting third for the Milton team today. So these pitchers can handle a bat well. It's not the old National League where they're hitting about $150. Pitch coming, and Cropper shows some good restraint on the off-speed pitch there that's in the dirt. A lot of guys would swing through that one, but a good take from Jack. Going out of the windup here. Longo deals. And Cropper swings and fouls this one on away. There is a growing crowd in behind the backstop there here in Milton as we see a lot of fans just where we are, kind of along the edge here. We've got NCM Zone Tim Rose here doing some camera work for us. Single camera shoot today, so really putting Tim to work. Cropper takes upstairs there, and now the count runs to 2-2.
Yeah, good patience again there from Cropper. 2-2 count. Pressure's on here. We'll see if he can force another ball or get on base with a single here.
Certainly extending the pitch count, but he takes a called strike 3 there, and Longo strikes out the opposing pitcher. He struck out the first 2. That'll bring up Quinn Burgess, the third baseman. So Burgess, the first lefty that Longo will have to contend with here in the Norwood lineup. Burgess, another senior for this Norwood team that graduated just a little bit shy of a week ago, and he lays off this one for ball one.
Yeah, and Burgess, as a senior leader for this team, he's been the hottest hitter for the Mustangs this year. I believe he's leading them across the board in several batting categories, batting average, doubles, RBIs. He's been mashing the ball this year.
And he takes a pitch there for a strike, so 1-1 now on the senior third baseman. Longo rocks and fires, gets that one in there too, so quickly 1-2.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, you can see why a lot of people are hyping up this sophomore Longo. He's dealing to start this game.
Norwood has yet to put a ball in play as Dittmeyer went down swinging and Cropper looking and just barely getting a piece of that one. Longo took something off of it, and Burgess lucky to stay alive in the count.
That was some unbelievable off speed there from Longo. Burgess was way ahead of it, slowed down the swing a little bit, just fought off a pretty good pitch there. We'll see if Burgess can stay alive here as well.
So we'll do it again at 1-2. Lefty-lefty matchup here. 2 outs in the inning. Longo deals, and Burgess takes a weak swing at it. He grounds it softly towards second. McDougal will have to hurry, and that pulls Beckett off the bag. And Burgess is in there. We'll give him a base hit from our unofficial scoring, and Norwood is on with their first hit of the contest.
Yeah, baseball's a funny game. Sometimes that's all you need, some light contact. Grass slows it down. Burgess is a pretty athletic, fast kid. He's going to beat out that throw. That'll go in the book as a single.
And that brings up Giacomo Serratori. Giacomo DHing today, so he will not be in the field. Batting from the right side as Burgess takes his lead off first. Longo decides to go over there. And that's something, Joey, that Norwood's going to have to watch. Lefties historically, obviously, with a really strong pickoff move, and it looks like Longo is not afraid to use that.
Yeah, I was always scared as a base runner anytime there was a lefty up there. It is terrifying when you get a lefty with a good pickoff move. You really never know when he's coming over.
He dials up the velocity on his fastball there and throws strike one past Serratori. Serratori's someone, though, who can certainly give the ball a ride. Last game NCM covered back in Norwood at the Balch. He hit a long home run to left field, but now he finds himself down in an 0-2 hole as he sprays that one aside.
Yeah, Giacomo is definitely the power hitter of the Mustangs, kind of a specialist in the extra base hits, home runs. I know a couple weeks ago against Medfield, he had a pretty clutch insurance run, RBI double to right center. It was an absolute frozen rope.
And Giacomo looks at that one. Thought the umpire was going to punch him out there for a second, but he called it a little high and tight, I guess, there.
Yeah, it looked like he was signaling for the K. I guess he was signaling that it was a little high. So Giacomo Serratori still alive at the plate.
So 1-2, and it looked like, Joey, he kind of deked out the Milton team a little bit. They were all ready to get excited for that one. Running on the pitch was Burgess, but Longo doesn't care, throws it right by him, and Serratori strikes out for the third out. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left on, 3 strikeouts in the inning, and if this is supposed to be a pitcher's duel, it is shaping up that way so far.
Yeah, it's off to a hot start as a pitcher's duel already. 3 Ks in the inning for Longo, and the only contact from Burgess was a pretty soft hit ground ball into the infield grass. We'll see if Cropper can match Longo here, or can get out of this inning letting up no runs as well.
So a little bit of an overcast day. We've seen the sun peeking through a little bit, but it's still a great day for baseball as we start hearing John Fogerty in the background. And here he is, Jack Cropper, taking the hill for the Norwood Mustangs. Heard that he was hitting 98 on the gun at one point throughout this season, so he is certainly someone that can light up a radar gun.
Yeah, and Cropper gets, no pun intended, a lot of heat for his fastball. That's what he's known for, but watching him pitch this year, he's also got great command of his off-speed. That really helps make a difference when you're facing him up there at the plate. He can come in with the 98, 97 mile per hour fastball, and then he can deke you out with the off-speed.
He is certainly no stranger to success. Struck out 18 batters in a game one time here this season. Now that's only in 7 innings. That's not a 9-inning game, so you know that puts him on a pretty good pace. Only 3 batters in that game came up and even put the ball in play. He was also part of a combined no-hitter, him and Sean Dittmeyer earlier, and even threw a no-hitter, a solo one as a sophomore against Millis. So he's looking to put the finishing touches on what's been an astounding career.
Yeah, and on the other side of those strikeouts, if Milton does happen to put the ball in play today, something to keep your eyes on. Jack Dwyer's typically the center fielder for the Norwood Mustangs today, but here at Cunningham Park, it appears as though left field goes pretty far back and has a little bit of a hill back there towards the fence. So it looks like manager Kevin Igo's opted to shift Jack Dwyer to left field to cover a little more range out there with his notorious speed, which means Brian Dearborn's going to be in center field, and Ryan Kelly will have his wheels out in right field.
been a good defensive outfield for the Mustangs this year, and in fact, with a team that, especially early in the season, struggled to kind of get their bats going, their defense has really kept them in the game. So we'll see if that is the case today. Owen McHugh will be the leadoff batter for Milton, the shortstop who started their game against North Quincy in the round of 32, and he quickly takes strike one from Jack Cropper.
Yep, that's what you love to see if you're a Mustang fan here. If Cropper can get in the strike zone nice and early with those first pitch strikes, he can command this game.
And look at that, he quickly goes 0-2 here on McHugh. McHugh, a multi-sport athlete, played some hockey and played some football as well, was a star player as a quarterback and former safety for this Milton team, and he sprays that one foul and stays alive in the count. But he is just a true athlete and will be taking his talents to Williams College next year.
Wow, very impressive.
Stands in from the right side against the right-hander Cropper. Pitch is hit on the ground to shortstop. It's gloved there by Sean Steves, and the throw to first base is in time to get McHugh. So 6-3 on the putout, and that'll bring up Jimmy Fallon, the third baseman.
Yep, great play there from Steves. Charged the ball, got a good hop, smooth transition over to first base. One batter, one out.
Fallon, an on-base machine here. The man knows how to get on. He's got to delight the money ball types of minds here in the baseball community. Pitch coming from Cropper, and Fallon gets a hold of this one. He drives it out towards left center, and it'll get over the head of Dwyer. He's heading for second. Fallon is not stopping there. He'll head to third base. The throw comes into the cutoff man, Steves, but Fallon slides in safely. It is a one-out triple for Jimmy Fallon, and just like that, Milton has a runner at third base with Scott Longo, the opposing pitcher, coming up.
Again, as we mentioned here at Cunningham Park, a lot of space out there in the outfield. Fallon manages to put one in the left field gap there, and the ball just keeps rolling all the way to the fence. Dwyer got that ball in about as fast as he could, and Fallon still ends up on third base. So some rare good pop off the bat against Jack Cropper here. We'll see if the Mustangs can respond.
So the Mustangs will bring the infield in, knowing how tight this game could be. And laying off that one is Scott Longo, the opposing pitcher. The entire Milton team is up there, hanging onto the chain link fence there in the dugout, as Cropper finds himself in a little bit of trouble early on here in the bottom of the first. Misses outside there, and the Wildcat team continues to jeer him on in between pitches. So quickly 2-0 here, with first base obviously open. Cropper maybe with a little bit of room to work here, so we're sure he'll be careful with Longo. Longo skies this one to right. Ryan Kelly coming in. He'll dive for it, but he can't quite get there. Longo rounds first. He'll head to second base. It'll be a double and a run batted in for Scott Longo as he waves to his teammates on the bench. 1-0 Milton.
Yep, Milton on the board early here. Some pretty decent contact from Longo there. Drops in a blooper. Ryan Kelly goes all out, laying out for the catch. Can't make it. Longo's on base at second base here with an RBI double. So
a great effort from Ryan Kelly there in right field, who had to come a long way in from his position. But it falls in safely, and especially given the dive attempt, I think the run was going to score regardless, even if Kelly had been able to come up with it. So that brings up Jack Finnegan, the catcher. Finnegan batting from the right side against the right-hander Cropper, and Cropper misses low and once again falls behind another hitter. 1-0 on Finnegan.
Yep, so one out, Longo on second base. He's got his catcher here at the plate. We'll see if Milton can keep the ball rolling here. If the Mustangs can shut him down, escape with just a 1-0 deficit. And
Cropper misses again, just a bit outside. Finnegan, a true athlete, Joey. He's also a multi-sport athlete, was the co-MVP of the Bay State Conference Herget Division in football back in the fall, and now is somebody that Coach Morrissey for Milton has really talked up as a great all-around player. He swings and grounds this one. It's a hot shot to third. Burgess can't quite handle it, but does a good job knocking it down, keeping the ball in the infield and keeping Longo at second base.
Yeah, and even though the Mustangs didn't make the play there, that's exactly what you want to see from Quinn Burgess there. Lays out, keeps the ball in the infield, probably holds off an RBI and a run right there. Now the Mustangs still have a force at third base.
So runners on first and second. Longo the runner at second, Finnegan at first. And here's KJ Beckett, another football player in his own right. The hulking first baseman now to bat for Milton. Cropper deals to Beckett, and he gets that one over for a strike. So Cropper in a little bit of trouble here. He got the first batter, McHugh, to ground out to the shortstop, but it's been 3 straight hits for the Wildcats. A triple from Fallon, a double for Longo, and the single just then from Finnegan. Gets this one in there and a nice pitch, and Cropper now seems to be finding a groove.
Yeah, and despite the damage done here by Milton already, anytime you have Jack Cropper on the mound, you can escape this inning with just a 1-0 lead here, 1-0 deficit. He has had many difficult holes. He's been in a couple jams this year, and he's struck his way out of pretty much all of them.
He takes something off that one, and it skips out of the glove of Angel Oliveria back behind home plate. The runners will advance on the pass ball.
Yep, there's that broadcaster bad luck we've talked about during basketball season, Joe. Completely jinxed that one with the pass ball.
So Norwood once again will bring the infield in as we see Badger at second base, creep onto the grass, as does Steves at shortstop with a double play no longer in order. There's a hot shot, nice play by Badger. Badger will look the runner back to third base, thought he had a chance to nab him. Doesn't get him at third, and the runner is safe at first base.
Yeah, great snag there from Badger. Runner on third was about a quarter of the way down the line. It's a tough spot as a second baseman there. Badger made the right play initially, looked back, the runner at third. As a manager there, you probably want him to get the out at first. Tries to shoot him at third. Milton gets back to third base just in time. No harm, no foul. Still one out. Bases loaded here.
Well, the double play still in order now as Max Dunn steps in. Badger made a heck of a play. It was a great play on a sharply hit ball, and he did the right thing, looked the runner back to third base. But then might have thought there was a little extra daylight between the runner Longo and the bag and decided to throw over to try to nab him. Regardless, it's bases loaded now here as Norwood will keep the infield drawn in. Pitch coming, and Dunn swings through this one. Max Dunn, the designated hitter today, he is a force to be reckoned with, a big guy who certainly carries a lot of power.
Yep, and if you're Milton, this is the exact spot you want him up at the plate for.
So Cropper, even with the bases loaded, will operate here out of the stretch. He deals to the right-handed hitting Dunn and missed just a little bit outside. Joey, it sounds like this Milton bench is living and dying with every call here in the first.
Yeah, they got the juice early, a couple runners on base, and the bench is active over there. They're loud, they're trying to rattle Cropper, see if he can battle back.
So Cropper now will deliver. This one a little bit high and tight, and Dunn once again lays off of it. Milton hitters seemingly unfazed by the velocity from Cropper early on as the crowd continues to pour in here to Cunningham Park. So now with the bases full of Wildcats, here's the pitch. It's in the dirt, and coming home on the play is Longo. He'll score. The ball gets by Cropper. Norwood backs it up on the infield as that was Burgess who was able to scoop it up. But the ball was in the dirt. Oliveria blocked it, but then he tried a quick throw as Longo made an aggressive break towards home plate, and he was unable to connect with Cropper to apply the tag.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised Longo took off for the plate there. Oliveria got to the ball pretty early, just couldn't connect with Cropper to the throw at the plate. I think if he got it there, they would have had an out at home. Instead, they score, and Dunn takes a walk, so we'll have the bases loaded once again.
So with first base open, perhaps Cropper deciding to be a little bit careful there with Dunn, and that will bring up Sean McDougal, the second baseman. McDougal, a left-handed batter, batting against the righty Cropper. It's 2-0 Milton, and they're continuing to threaten to score with the bases jammed. Finnegan, the runner at third, Beckett at second, and Dunn, now the runner at first base after the walk. But Cropper settles down nicely and quickly goes 0-1 here on McDougal.
Yeah, and that's exactly how you want to see Cropper respond to some adversity here. Walk, pass ball, an error. Cropper battles back with a first pitch strike. Make it 2.
And look at that. I thought you were going to have the announcer jinx there and he would go with the ball, but he deals this one on inside. So quickly 0-2 on the Milton second baseman. Reed Dexter would be next if McDougal were to keep the, with one out, if McDougal were to keep the inning alive and stay out of a double play. Pitch coming, and he just missed a little bit inside. Cropper kind of looked down towards home plate a little longer there. He wanted that one for strike 3.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty good spot from Cropper. Looks like maybe just a bit inside if you're the blue. There we go, 1-2.
Pitch coming now to Sean McDougal. McDougal swings and tips it into the glove. A nice squeeze from Angel Oliveria. And there's the first strikeout of the day from Jack Cropper. McDougal goes down swinging.
Yeah, that's a big squeeze from the sophomore Angel Oliveria behind the plate. That'll allow the Mustang infield to back up a little bit. 2 outs here. get the easy out at any bag.
So another lefty batter coming up. This is Reed Dexter, the right fielder. And you can kind of see how, as Cropper deals here and misses low, you can see how one big strikeout can certainly change the feel of this game. Joe, I think that Milton bench went library quiet when McDougal took the strikeout there.
Yeah, Cropper's kind of been known as the silencer this year. As I mentioned, I think at that Medfield game, he was in a similar situation. Medfield got runners on second and third with 1 out. They got pretty loud and rowdy, and he shut down the next 2 batters. Similar situation right here in Milton.
But just like that, every pitch really seems to be key here to that Milton bench as they got very excited with Dexter now in a 2-0 advantage. Pitch coming, and Dexter lays off that one. 3-0, Joey, nowhere to put him.
Yep, and once again, we have bases loaded here, as Joe Panola just mentioned, so if you're Cropper, you got to battle back here with a strike. I would assume Reed Dexter probably taking here no matter what. See if we can get one right down the middle of the plate.
Cropper shakes off the sign, throws it, and he gets this one in there for a strike. He needed that one, and now he finds himself in a 3-1 hole. Harrison Hinkle, the left fielder, is the on-deck batter. He's the 9th place hitter in Milton's lineup. So Milton in danger of sending everybody to the plate this inning. Now quickly 3-2 as Cropper has battled back against Dexter.
Full count, 2 outs, bases loaded. See if Cropper can get one more over the plate here.
Big pitch coming. Finnegan on third, Beckett at second, Dunn the runner at first base. Cropper deals, and he missed downstairs. He walks in a run.
So that'll make it 3-0 Milton here at Cunningham Park. We got Harrison Hinkle, the left fielder, taking the plate here.
So Hinkle now steps in with 2 outs. Cropper did retire the first batter of the inning, McHugh, but then there were 4 straight hits and a walk before he struck out McDougal and then walked Dexter. This one pops out of the mid of Oliveria here. And Norwood is going to find themselves in a hole regardless, but I think at this point, Joe, it's about kind of keeping your focus up. You never know. Games like this can always turn in a hurry. And we see especially how even great pitchers like Cropper can get into trouble. This one is swung and fouled back, as Hinkle kind of barely got a piece of that.
Yeah, as we mentioned, many people were anticipating a bit of a pitcher's duel here. Now, if you're the Mustangs, when you get up next inning, you're hoping no longer a pitcher's duel.
Let's see if they can get that offense going. But in the meantime, it'll be up to Cropper to get out of there. Pitch coming. Hinkle swings through this one. He'll run to first base, but with the runner on first base, there's no need to throw it down. And that's what Sean Dittmeyer is saying as he points to the bag. A little bit of confusion in the strikeout holds.
Yeah, a little bit of confusion there. I'm not too sure why. Oliveria clearly stepped on home plate there. Bases loaded. That's all he needs to do in that situation. Rolled the ball back to the mound. Milton seemed to think he maybe missed the plate or didn't know the situation. Clarifies we're out of the inning. So 3-0 here, Milton. Looks like manager Kevin Igo has gathered the boys together here. A little bit of a huddle at the top of the second. We'll see if they can reset, regroup, battle back here in the top of the second.
Well, for the Norwood team, not quite the situation they expected to be in. Joey, you look up and down this Norwood lineup, they're going to have to get some big contributions here. They had Sean Dittmeyer getting one of the key RBIs for them in the game that they traveled all the way out to West Springfield and ended up winning 2-0. But you're going to have to score more than 2 or if you're going to be moving on here in this tournament today.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you're a fan of the Mustangs, that's kind of been their weak point this year. Had a lot of games where the bats went dead, bats were slow. They're going to have to wake them up here today if they're going to battle back.
Norwood hasn't scored more than 5 runs in a game since all the way back when they had a big win and put up an 11 spot against Millis. So, this Norwood team is kind of starved for offense, but regardless, it's going to be up to them to pick up their pitcher here. And a little bit of extra breathing room for Scott Longo at this point, which, obviously could be a good thing for him as he's able to kind of relax a bit more. But as a pitcher who comes in and expects this to be a really tight game, this is a situation maybe he's not super familiar with or wasn't quite expecting.
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone was expecting a 3-0 lead here right away for either team. So as you mentioned, Joe, maybe Milton lets their guard down a little bit. We'll see. Good news if you're a Mustang fan is we have Jack Dwyer leading off this inning. He's probably legitimately the fastest kid left in the MIAA playoffs here. As I mentioned, he was moved to left field because he can absolutely fly. So even if he gets on with just a walk, he's an absolute weapon on the base paths. We'll see if we can get him on first base.
So Dwyer will kick things off here against Scott Longo. Longo pitched very well in the first inning. He struck out the side, and Dwyer kind of barely offers at that one. Definitely fooled there from the pitch from Longo. Dwyer was originally, I think, slated to lead off today, but a little bit of a lineup reshuffle finds him hitting fifth. Now heading on over towards the line there and giving it a look is a trio of Milton players, but it hits off a pine tree down the line, and it's quickly now 0-2 on the Mustang left fielder.
Yeah, that's an interesting factor at this field that I didn't consider. That looked like a pretty catchable foul ball. Instead, drops into the pine trees, drops to the ground. Kind of looked like a golf course for a second there, Joe.
There is a lot of room at this field, and one of the first things I noticed when we walked in is certainly how deep the outfield is here. It'll take a pretty good shot to get a ball over this fence. 0-2 on Dwyer as he takes a very defensive cut there to stay alive. Nice job by him, though, to stay alive in the count. Dwyer will be followed by Zach Badger, the second baseman, and then Angel Oliveria, the catcher. Longo out of the windup, deals, misses outside. So
yep,
1-2 now.
Looks like Longo came with the off speed there. Couldn't quite get it over the plate.
He rocks now and fires again, and Dwyer staying alive in the at-bat, fouls it away. So Dwyer found himself quickly down 0-2, but now we'll see the sixth pitch of the at-bat.
Yeah, Dwyer doing a good job here, staying alive at the plate, battling with two strikes. See if he can slap one in play.
Pitch coming, and he tries to do exactly that. It takes a very strange hop, but it's handled nicely there at first base by Beckett, who retires Dwyer on the putout.
Yeah, bizarre hop there at first base. A little inside out swing from Dwyer. Looked like it would have been a routine ground ball. It looked like it had a little left to right spin, almost skipped over the first baseman's head. Pretty good play there for Milton. We got one out.
Tell you, that's one that's going to show up as a routine grounder, but it was some excellent focus there from Beckett, who was able to corral him. So this is Zach Badger now, the second baseman. Badger in the bottom half of the previous inning as he grounds this one towards second. And he's retired there. Badger made a great play at second base, keeping the ball in the infield, but decided to throw to third base instead to try to chase the runner, and Norwood wasn't able to get him.
Yeah, it was a heck of a snag by Badger. Probably saved about 2 runs at the moment. Almost made a pretty good play at third. Puts the ball in play there as well at the plate. Not on first base, though. 2 outs for Milton.
So quickly 2 away in the inning, and Angel Oliveria swings through the high heat there. Longo can touch high 80s, and he looked like he had every bit of that on that pitch to Angel. Oliveria doing the catching, and he pops this one on up in the infield. Calling for it at second base is McDougal, and he squeezes it for the third out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Scott Longo, and we are through 1.5. It is still 3-0 Milton.
So the Mustangs take the field here. We'll see if they can respond in the field, and Jack Cropper can respond on the mound. Pretty surprising, Joe, how much contact Milton made in the first inning there. I don't think anyone's too used to seeing that against Cropper. See if he can battle back here against the bottom of the order for Milton.
Yeah, Milton, at least from our scorecards, certainly always arguable about whether you charge an error in a certain spot. But we had 4 hits for that Milton team there in the first. Cropper's had plenty of games in Norwood career where he hasn't even given up 4 hits through 7. So uncharted territory for him here, but he will go to work here. And as a senior, he'll need to really dial things in if he wants to extend his career here with the Mustangs.
Yeah, in the playoffs, down early, this is a spot where you absolutely have to lean on your upperclassmen. You're going to need Sean Dittmeyer, you're going to need Quinn Burgess, you're going to need Jack Cropper on the mounds. Those guys are going to have to respond if the Mustangs have a chance of coming back here today.
So for Milton this inning, they'll go right back to the top of the order. They had all 9 batters come to the plate there in the second inning, and now they'll go right back to where things started with Owen McHugh, Jimmy Fallon, and Scott Longo, the pitcher. McHugh will be the leadoff hitter in the inning. He's officially 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to third base, grounded out to shortstop. And it seemed like at that point that things were going Cropper's way, but then kind of the wheels fell off as following McHugh were 4 straight singles and a walk that ultimately amounted to 3 runs for Milton.
Yeah, and an interesting tidbit there from Joe is Liam McLaughlin is not batting for Milton, so we won't have the bottom of the order up here.
Yeah, so both teams using a DH, but they're not using the DH for their pitcher. For Norwood, it'll be Brian Dearborn only playing the field and not batting, and Liam McLaughlin for Milton only playing the field and not batting.
Yeah, pretty interesting rule there for MIA high school baseball. You get a designated fielder as well.
So Cropper now will go to the work. We'll go to work here, operating out of the windup. Here is Owen McHugh, and McHugh swings through that one quickly, 0-1.
Yep, so Cropper responds early, first pitch strike. Gonna need a lot of those this inning.
Is the 0-1 coming. Cropper misses a little bit outside there. If you're just joining us or just fast forwarded to this point, the Milton offense came alive in the first. They currently hold a 3-0 advantage as we find ourselves in the bottom of the second inning from Cunningham Park. We've got our single camera shoot thanks to Tim Rose, Norwood High School alumni and college graduate from Syracuse University. So thanks to Tim for being out here today with us. And Joe Panola, Joey O'Connor doing the commentary with you. Joey, strange to not be at a basketball game with you, but I know you've been certainly around the baseball field a ton this season already.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since Joe and I linked up here on the mics, but it's good to be back. As Joe kind of hinted at there, I helped out with JV baseball a little bit this year. It's super fun. So I got to know some of these varsity guys as well. So it's good to see some of these guys, especially after graduation.
Here's the pitch coming to McHugh, and it's a soft ground ball to third base. Burgess gloves it and makes the throw to first base in time to retire McHugh. So 5-3 on the putout, and that's the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up Jimmy Fallon.
Yep, and like we mentioned there, that's what you want to see from your seniors. You got to lean on the upperclassmen here if you're going to respond. Burgess charges the ball, makes a great play. Dittmeyer, pretty good pick at first base. One batter, one out here.
So Jimmy Fallon, despite Milton getting a ton of offense there in that first inning, he was the one that really gave the ball a ride. He tripled as the first hit of the game for Milton between the left fielder Dwyer and the center fielder Dearborn. And with the big field dimensions here at Cunningham Park, that ball rolled all the way to the wall, giving Fallon time to head on over to third base. But quickly now 2-0 here on him as both balls have gotten by the catcher Oliveria. So Cropper now takes a breath and will look to settle. He deals here to Fallon, misses, and 3-0 now on the Milton third baseman.
Looks like, I think the Blue might have called that a late strike there.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be wrong.
Apologies if so. We're operating without a scoreboard at the moment. Fallon swings at this one, grounds it to third base. Great stop there from Burgess, who makes the long throw to first base in time. So I guess, Joey, we said that the seniors were going to have to step up if Norwood was going to have to make some progress in this game, and it's been Quinn Burgess so far. He's made 2 great plays.
Yeah, I don't know how loud these mics are, but it sounds like Burgess might have heard us there. That was a great backhanded stop. Shoots it over to first right away. Another pretty good pick by Sean Dittmeyer. 2 batters, 2 outs.
So Fallon is retired on the ground out, and that'll bring up Scott Longo. Longo takes a strike inside. I think that was the strike that got called on Fallon just a moment ago. We don't quite have the K-zone here from our perspective down the first baseline. Pitch coming there, and it's quickly now 0-2 on Longo.
Yeah, the umpire's got a little bit of a late strike call on some of these, but that's 2 pitches, 2 strikes here from Cropper.
Let's see if Cropper can get a third here and retire his counterpart. He steps off the mound, and Oliveri will cycle through the signs again. No pitch comm like you might be seeing in Major League Baseball, and no pitch clock as well. Good swing there from Longo, who fouls it back to the screen, and will do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, and that's a perfect 0-2 pitch there from Cropper. High fastball out of the zone. Longo fights it off, swings a little bit out of the zone, but fouls it back. He's still alive at the plate.
So still advantage Cropper here against the opposing pitcher Longo. Pitch coming, and Longo once again gets a piece of it, much to the delight of his Milton teammates.
Yep, another good 0-2 pitch there from Cropper, another good 0-2 swing there from Longo. This is quite the battle.
In his first at-bat, Longo hit a weak fly ball to right field, but it was a long run for Ryan Kelly, who dove and just missed making a fantastic play. Now he takes a ball here, 1-2. It was a fly ball to right that probably would have gotten the runner Fallon in anyway, but after the diving attempt from Kelly, Longo was able to stretch it into a double. He'll look to get a little bit better contact here, though, but he finds himself in a 1-2 hole against Cropper. Cropper deals, and he misses outside, and just like that, we're on to the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Longo has really extended this one.
Yep, again, nice pitcher versus pitcher duel here. Longo battling at the plate, making Cropper throw some extra pitches.
Pitch coming outside, and Longo has worked the count full. Jack Finnegan looms in the on-deck circle for Milton. He also has a hit already today off Cropper. And so now Jack Cropper, will have to dig deep here. 3-2. Pitch coming, he gets it over for a called strike 3. Great work from the Norwood senior, as after a tough first inning, he comes back and retires the side in order. Still 3-0 Milton, though, as we head to the top of the third.
Great inning there from Jack Cropper. Some pretty good defensive plays there at third from Quinn Burgess. Nice back and forth battle there between Longo and Cropper, and Cropper sits him down, strike 3. See if the Mustangs can respond here, get the bats going.
So the Mustangs, it look like, will have the bottom of their order to start. They'll have Steves, Kelly, and then back to the top with Dittmeyer coming up. As Longo will take the batting gloves off and will jog out to the mound. A little bit of a wind coming through here, Joey, as we, the sun hasn't quite decided that it wants to make its appearance.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird weather day. Clouds rolling in. Just got a little bit frigid. Wind is blowing out a little bit. Looks like all that Canada smoke, though, has finally left the area, which is nice.
That's true. We've been getting the smells of Nova Scotia the last couple days, I guess. So we're starting to see fans kind of all over the place here at this field, as there's a couple fans down the left field line gathering near the foul pole there. A lot of viewing spaces here, as there's a big field behind us as well. The Milton softball field is over here. But Sam Longo will throw the last couple of his warm-up pitches, and he'll contend with Sean Steves to lead off here. We saw Steves leading off the last game that NCM covered when Norwood took on Ashland, so he's certainly someone who's no stranger to being the first batter up in an inning. Maybe he could potentially spark a rally here. Yeah,
senior shortstop. Can't really think of a much better player to lead off your inning with here if you're going to mount a comeback.
So Steves, Kelly, and Dittmeyer the batter, 3 seniors. Actually, if you kind of look at who's coming up here for Norwood, they've got 5 seniors in a row with Steves, Kelly, Dittmeyer, Cropper, and Burgess, as we'll cycle the order back to the top.
Yeah, with those 5 seniors coming up, as we mentioned, this would be the time to get the bats going, maybe squeeze in a walk or 2, get some base runners on board, maybe get a little small ball going if you have to. Do whatever it takes here to steal at least 1 run.
So it looks like we're ready to go here in the top of the third. If you're just joining us, Joe Panola alongside Joey O'Connor on the mics, and Tim Rose, NHS alumni and now Syracuse University graduate, on the cameras for us today, or on the camera, as he's doing a great job capturing all the action. Quickly 1-0 here, as that pitch was in the dirt to Sean Steves. We'll take a quick pan around the field here, or at least I will, to see if Milton has gone with any changes. It doesn't appear so. And Steves swings almost out of his shoes on that one. 1-1 now on the Norwood shortstop.
Yeah, pretty big cut there from Steves, but it would be huge to get him on base here. He and Ryan Kelly both have pretty good wheels. If you can get them on ahead of Sean Dittmeyer, you might have some magic going for the Mustangs.
He lays off this one, so it's 2-1. Steves obviously is someone who has led off some games for Norwood, certainly has a knack for getting on base, and he lays off this one here too, so finds himself in a good hitter's count, 3-1 against the lefty Longo.
Yeah, and as a Mustang fan, you would like to see this. If the Mustangs could work the count here against Longo a little bit, make him throw, maybe steal a bag with a walk.
So a full count now at 3-2. Norwood has 1 hit so far today, and it was a weak grounder that Quinn Burgess hit out towards second base that he was able to leg out for a single. Other than that, it's been 3 strikeouts for the left-hander Longo. There's the pitch coming now to Steves, and Sean swings through that one. There's the 4th strikeout for Longo as Sean goes down swinging. So 1 away in the inning, and that'll bring up Ryan Kelly, the right fielder.
Yeah, pretty good at bat there, though, from Steves. Battled, made Longo throw a little bit. We'll see if Ryan Kelly, another senior, can keep the momentum going here. Another strong at bat.
Although it looks from this perspective, and we were trying to figure that out earlier as we got conflicting reports, I think that's Brian Dearborn that's going to be batting. And Dearborn barely gets a piece of this one.
Yeah, that is Brian Dearborn at the plate here. So it looks like Ryan Kelly is the one that will not be batting for the Mustangs.
So it looks like the coaches making some decisions out there, and we had heard it was going to be Dearborn, then we heard it was going to be Kelly, but ultimately Dearborn is the one they go with. And Brian's had a nice season for the Mustangs as a sophomore. Obviously, we saw a lot of him on the basketball court, but he gets a chance here with the baseball team, playing center field today.
Yeah, Dearborn, as a sophomore, has been a steady force in the outfield for the Mustangs. I know he also has some experience at first base for the future. Maybe next year you might see him in the infield a little bit. But he's a name that Joe and I have recited quite a bit during the basketball season as well. So big year here for Brian Dearborn.
Yeah, he was kind of like sixth man of the year off the bench for the Norwood basketball team that made certainly a very deep run and pulled a big upset over Foxborough. And he was instrumental in that game along with numerous others. Dearborn barely gets a piece of this one. Tell you, Joey, he's put a few foul balls out of play here, but they've been pretty defensive hacks, it looks like.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about Brian during the basketball season was he always showed a lot of poise on the court. He didn't look or play like a sophomore. Looks like he's got the same poise here at the plate for the Mustangs as he takes the first walk of the game for Norwood.
Nice job working the walk, and at least from our perspective, that was a really tough pitch to lay off. But he shows an excellent eye there, and now with one out, Norwood has a runner on first base for the top of their lineup. So here is Sean Dittmeyer. Dittmeyer started the game by striking out swinging. He was one of 3 strikeout victims of Longo back in the first. Dearborn, a medium-sized lead at first base. This one's in the dirt, but a nice stop there and a quick throw down to first base. Dearborn slides back safely. Nice play by the Milton catcher Finnegan there to keep that ball in front of him.
Yeah, good stop from Finnegan. Looked like Dearborn was trying to be pretty aggressive there on the base pass as the first base runner of the inning. Made a little hesitation move to second, dives back to first base as he dives back again there with the pickoff from Longo.
So Milton looking to keep the speedy Dearborn close. We know he's an athlete. We were just talking about his success on the basketball court. Sean Dittmeyer, someone else who is certainly a multi-sport athlete, as he takes a strike there. Dittmeyer was instrumental in Norwood's hockey season. The hockey team pulled a big upset, taking down number 1 seeded Tewksbury. And Sean served as a captain for that team, as he does in the baseball team. Dearborn will head down to second base to throw coming. Did they get him? They did. The ball was in the dirt. Dearborn decided to take off, but a great throw from Finnegan, a nice tag from Owen McHugh, is able to retire Dearborn on the caught stealing.
Yep, great play there from Finnegan. Another big stop. Pretty good hose down to second base, and he gets Dearborn looking to be a little aggressive on the base pass. Pretty close play at second. Well, that's 2 outs.
So 2 out in the inning now and nobody on, as Dittmeyer finds himself in a much different situation than he was a couple seconds ago. He fouls this one off. Looks like he didn't miss that pitch by much though, Joey.
Yep, and I like the urgency there from the Mustangs. You're down 3-0, right? You want to be aggressive on the base pass, but maybe not the best pitch to go on. It was a pretty good stop from Finnegan. Looked like it could have got by him.
There's a ground ball to third base. Sean was hustling all the way. Nice work from the senior who didn't let off up there. He really made Milton work for the out, but ultimately he is retired. A nice play by Fallon at third.
Yep, and so after Longo's first walk of the game, Milton responds there, makes a good play at second base on the steal attempt from Dearborn, and then get Dittmeyer out with a ground ball at first base. So Milton will come up to the plate next.
So we are through 2.5 innings here. Still 3-0 Milton, but looks like, Joey, both pitchers have settled down a little bit as they both threw up zeros there in the second inning. And now Longo continues to do some good work as he's through 3 innings scoreless.
Yeah, it looks like this might finally be turning into the pitcher's duel we anticipated, Joe. But as we mentioned, hopefully the Mustangs in the next few innings can steal a couple runs here and there, turn it into a game.
So for Milton this inning, they'll have Jack Finnegan, KJ Beckett, and Max Dunn, the hitters that are due up. All 3 of these hitters reached in the first inning. Finnegan singled, Beckett singled, and Dunn was able to draw a walk. So this is a part of the order that Cropper is going to have to bear down against. But he did a nice job of that the last inning as he was able to get Fallon, who had tripled against him earlier in the game, and he was able to strike out Longo looking, who had reached with a double. Cropper will take the last couple of his warm-up tosses as Freebird plays in the background. I'll tell you, who's ever got control of the DJ booth there is doing a nice job here. I'm enjoying the music they're playing here from Cunningham Park.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from behind the Milton bench. Not sure if it's a Milton player. They got a little shed back there. I know the Norwood Mustangs usually have a nice big speaker in their dugout during home games. So I'd be pretty impressed if it's a Milton high schooler playing these tunes, Joe.
They're going with some throwbacks, as we heard center field a bit earlier. I think they had some chili peppers in there at some point. So, and we heard some more modern country music earlier while the teams are taking some warm-ups. So we are spanning the decades here from Cunningham Park. And just as we say that, we get ready for action here in the bottom of the third. Jack Finnegan will lead things off for the Milton Wildcats. The first pitch coming from Jack Cropper is way in the dirt. Might have just had the wrong arm angle or the wrong grip on that one. So quickly 1-0 here to the Milton catcher. Pitch coming and Finnegan lays off of it. There's a strike. And so now 1-1.
Yep, so Finnegan at the plate here. He had a big hit in the first inning, also scored a run. We just saw him make a couple key stops behind the plate. He's been a big factor for Milton today.
Cropper throws this one in the dirt as well. So Jack's thrown 2 balls this at bat, and both of them have been very low and have almost skipped to Oliveria at the plate. Here's the 2-1. It's a ground ball towards short. Steves is there, a little bit of a snow cone, but the throw gets him by a step.
Yeah, pretty aggressive approach there from Finnegan. Made pretty decent contact, just hit it right to Steves. Steves makes the play to first base, pretty bang, but that's 1 batter, 1 out for the Mustangs.
Yeah, great work from Sean, who kind of squeezed that just barely enough. It almost looked like the ball was going to pop out on him. So here's KJ Beckett, the first baseman. Beckett singled back in the first inning. Cropper bounces another one into the dirt as the jeers start to come alive from that Milton bench. We heard them very loudly back in the first inning that seemed to rattle Jack a little bit, but he settled down nicely to have a 1-2-3 second, and he gets the leadoff hitter Finnegan in this inning here in the third. Here's the 1-0. It's a little bit high and tight, quickly 2-0 now on Beckett. Max Dunn, the designated hitter, looms on deck. And Sean McDougall would be next if Milton were to keep the inning alive. Pitch coming and a big cut on that one. Oh, Beckett was looking to put that one in orbit, but he swings through it.
Yeah, another aggressive 2-0 approach there from Milton. Beckett was swinging to the fences out in left field over Jack Dwyer's head. Said it's a strike for Norwood.
Certainly somebody who has their share of power, but he lays off this one that's also just a tick low. And the count is now 3-1 on the hulking first baseman.
Yeah, tough to see from here. It looked like a pretty close pitch. Oliveria wasn't able to squeeze it.
There's a ground ball out towards short. A high hop that's handled nicely there by Steves, who makes the throw to first base in time for the out. So 2 outs in the inning, and both have come via a ground ball to short.
Yeah, another great play there from Steves. That was kind of a high chopper, tough hop there from Steves. Makes the right read, stays back. Makes a good put out at first base. 2 batters, 2 outs, courtesy of Sean Steves.
So as Max Dunn stands in, Joey, it may not seem like it if you look at the scoreboard with Milton up 3-0, but the Norwood infield has actually played really well today. Quinn Burgess making a couple nice stops at third base as Dunn lays off that one. Steves has had a really nice inning here, and Badger also made a really nice play, picking a tough and very quickly moving ground ball out of the dirt back in the first inning.
Yeah, especially those seniors on the left side of the infield, as you mentioned, Joe. Burgess and Steves, couple good, tough putouts there. These are the plays you need to make if you're Norwood. You can't let up any easy runs beyond 3-0.
Pitch coming here. It's a little bit inside. Almost hit Dunn on that one, who wasn't too quick to get out of the way. He looked like he was okay being drilled by that one. But the way the Cropper throws, you get hit by one of his pitches, that's going to leave a mark. Here's the pitch now. Dunn lays off that one as well. So Cropper now finds himself in danger of walking Max Dunn again, who's drawn 1 of 2 walks in this game for Milton. Right-hander shakes off a sign from Oliveria, now deals, and he misses low. He has done just that, as Dunn has walked for the second time today. That brings up Sean McDougall.
Yep, so 2 outs here for the Mustangs. No harm, no foul with that walk. But another impressive effort there from Max Dunn. Another impressive at bat against Jack Cropper, and it looks like we'll have a pinch runner here for Dunn at first base.
So Milton trying to get a little bit more speed on the base paths here, as we see. We'll look in our scorebook. It looks like that's Tino Finocchio wearing number 2. That'll come to run for Dunn. Finocchio takes his lead off first base as Cropper gives a look over his shoulder. But here's McDougall. He's running on the play, and the pitch is fouled into the mid of Oliveria. So Tino will have to come all the way back to first base.
Are they? Yep, you got it. That was a foul tip?
I thought so.
They're not going to send him back there?
Well, Finaccio is staying at second base. So let's see what happens here as this one is taken a little bit outside. Now, we do know that the Milton jerseys have gotten a little bit switched on us. I was talking to Coach Morrissey earlier, and he was saying the team, I guess, had switched jerseys at some point this year. So apologies if we misattribute a number to a player here. Pitch coming, and fooling him on that one was Cropper as McDougal swings weakly through it.
My best guess, Joe, I got caught looking at the steal attempt. I think Angel Oliveira might have caught the squeeze there on the foul tip, which would mean the stolen base would hold up. All I heard was the bat. I assumed it was a foul tip into the ground, but it looks like Oliveira caught the foul tip.
Yeah, I think maybe he caught it and then may have dropped it right after. So apologies for that. If you're watching us on video on demand, I guess you can just go back and take a quick peek at what actually happened.
But nonetheless, an aggressive base steal there from the pinch runner. Didn't even wait for a pitch. First pitch, stealing right away.
He was going right off the bat, and now Milton with a runner in scoring position here for McDougal. McDougal takes inside, running on the play again, and Milton steals another bag.
So talk about doing your job. Pinch runner, 2 stolen bases right away. So 2 outs, runner on third here in a dangerous spot. If you're Jack Cropper and you're Angel Oliveira, you got to make sure nothing gets in the dirt behind you here.
And if that is Tino Finaccio, he's done a nice job really making things happen. There's a ground ball through the middle. It gets past the diving Badger, and the run will score. So Milton tacks on another. It's an RBI single for Sean McDougal.
Yep, and that's station-to-station baseball like you read about there from Milton. Pinch runner, steals second base, takes advantage, steals third as well. A little RBI single up the middle there from McDougal. McDougal, that will make it 4-0 here for Milton.
Bit of a 2-out rally now as that brings Reed Dexter to the plate. Pickoff throw to first base, and McDougal is back in time. Dexter hasn't had an official at bat today as he drew a walk back in the first inning. And surprising that him as the 8-hitter came to bat back in the first. But as we've mentioned a couple times, it was quite a first inning for the Wildcats as they put up a 3 spot against Cropper and the Mustangs. Cropper has thrown over twice now to keep McDougal close. McDougal is going on the pitch to throw down to second base. It's a one-hopper handled nicely by Badger, who applies the tag. Nice play from Zach Badger to scoop that one out of the dirt. He applies the tag to McDougal, and the second baseman for Milton is caught stealing to end the inning.
Yeah, that's a big-time snag there from the second baseman, Zach Badger. Good shoot there from Angel Oliveira behind the plate. Good pick there from Zach Badger. Prevents any further damage. Mustangs are out of the inning, so it'll be 4-0 Milton here.
So we'll take a little bit of a break here with the Mustangs down by 4, and we'll come back with the top of the 4th inning right after this. Welcome back, folks, to Cunningham Park as we get set for the top of the 4th inning, and Scott Longo continues to go to work for the Milton Wildcats. He will contend with the opposing pitcher, Jack Cropper, the third baseman, Quinn Burgess, and the designated hitter for Norwood, Giacomo Serratori in this inning. So Milton tacked on a very important insurance run potentially in the bottom of the third. So now they find themselves up 4-0. Pitch coming, and there's a drive out towards left field, or center field, excuse me, from Cropper. But measuring it and making the catch is the center fielder, Liam McLaughlin. And there is quickly one away in the inning.
It's him, 22.
And if you're just tuning in there, big run in the last inning for Milton with 2 outs. They forced a walk against Cropper. Pinch runner stole second and stole third, and then an RBI single up the gut made it 4-0. So once again, the Mustangs are going to have to look to respond here, get a few runners on base against Longo, which has been tough to come by today.
And you can tell the Mustangs trying to go quickly here. This is the third baseman, Quinn Burgess, as he swings through that pitch in the dirt. Burgess has played a nice third base today, and he also singled. He has Norwood's only hit of the game. It was an infield hit, but one nonetheless. But now he finds himself down 0-2 here against the left-hander Longo. Pitch coming, and Scott seems to be throwing him a steady diet of curveballs that seemed to work on the first 2 pitches. This one Quinn lays off, though.
Yeah, 3 straight off-speed pitches here for the lefty-lefty matchup. Good 0-2 pitch there from Longo, puts him in the dirt to see if Burgess will chase it.
Pitch coming, and Burgess chased that one. He falls for the high heat, and he strikes out. That's the 5th strikeout of the game for Longo in the 2nd out of the inning.
Yep, and so with the 1-2 situation there, Longo opts to change it up a little bit with the high speed. Burgess chases high. There's another strikeout for Longo.
So here comes one of Longo's previous strikeout victims, Giacomo Serratori, the designated hitter. Serratori has power, and Norwood will look to see if he can cue a 2-out rally. Lays off this one and quickly 1-0. Milton scored 3 runs back in the first inning. Then they were retired 1-2-3 by Jack Cropper in the second, but added an insurance run just moments ago in the third. So they find themselves up 4-0 here. The winner of this game will take on the winner of number 8, Holliston, against number 9, Plymouth North. Holliston, a very familiar foe for Norwood, but Norwood has struggled against them. They've given up double-digit runs to them multiple times, so we know that Panther offense can come to life and could potentially be looming in the next round for whoever advances.
So at the plate, 2 good takes there from Giacomo Serratori. Once again, looking to make Longo throw a little bit more this inning.
Norwood, though, has not been able to get much against the sophomore for Milton. Serratori swings and skies this one a little bit towards us, as there's a lot of folks that have gathered here now on the softball field. But really, everyone's gathered all around this area. And so Serratori will give it a go again here. Longo looks in, likes the sign from Finnegan. Here's the pitch, and Giacomo lays off of it for ball 4. So a nice job from the Norwood junior as he'll head on down to first base with a walk, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Jack Dwyer.
So the junior Giacomo Serratori there forces Longo's 2nd walk of the day. We'll see if Norwood can capitalize with Serratori's speed on first base.
We'll see. Longo delivers to the plate. It's in the dirt, and there goes Serratori. He'll slide into second base safely as the throw almost goes into the outfield, but a really nice backup play by Owen McHugh, who was able to keep the runner Serratori at second base there.
If there are any coaches out there watching that, they'd love to see that. Great backup there from the shortstop. Good snag there as well. Looked like he also tried to deke out Serratori, make it look like he didn't catch the backup throw there.
Serratori was not faked out by it, though, and the 1-0 count now on Dwyer will put Norwood in a pretty good spot with a runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch, and Dwyer thought about it, but lays off of it. 2-0 now.
Yeah, and something to keep your eye on here, too. Jack Dwyer had a pretty good first at-bat here against Longo. He had the first kind of longer at-bat against Longo, fouled off a lot of pitches, took a lot of balls out of the zone, and he put a ball in play. So we'll see if he can repeat the process here and maybe move Giacomo Serratori over.
And he lays off that one, or at least so it looks like. From this perspective, we weren't sure if Dwyer had gone around, but it appears he did not. So 3-0 now on the Norwood left fielder, and with first base open, I imagine Longo is going to be pretty careful with him.
Maybe 4 or 5 years.
Looks back a couple times to second base. Serratori isn't going anywhere, and Dwyer takes a strike. Now it's 3-1.
And as we mentioned earlier, too, Dwyer's strength is his speed. So even a walk here, he'll be in a dangerous spot on first base. And Serratori himself on second base, even though he's a DH, he can move as well.
Here's the pitch. And Dwyer swings and fouled this one away. So another long at bat for Jack Dwyer as the count runs full on him. Zach Badger, the on-deck hitter for the Mustangs. Dwyer is officially 0 for 1 today. He hit a weird ground ball that seemed to have some strange spin to it back in the second inning when he was leading off that inning, but it was handled nicely at first base by Beckett. Here's the pitch from Longo. Oh, did he go around? He did. Dwyer chases one low in the zone, and he strikes out to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, 1 left on, and we are now through 3.5. Milton still shutting out the Mustangs. It remains 4-0.
Yep. Once again, though, pretty good at bat from Jack Dwyer. Just can't capitalize with Norwood's first runner in scoring position there for the game. Longo dealing pretty early here today, Joe.
Well, let's see what Jack Cropper can keep doing for the Mustangs, but you're right. Scott Longo has been impressive. We know that scouts have been watching his games. He's a sophomore transfer student. He pitched a little bit at Catholic Memorial and now is over here in public school playing with the Milton Wildcats team. But certainly we can see what the scouts like about him. He's been electric so far. Well, Jack Cropper is certainly no stranger to some electricity there on the mound. He, as a sophomore, threw a no-hitter against Milton just a couple of years ago. That was during some of those strange COVID regulations. In fact, I saw a little bit of that game on NCM, and it was strange seeing Jack out there with the mask over his face, and especially while he was doing the interview afterwards. If you do want to look back at any of those games or any others from any sports, you can check out NCM's video on demand, available on the website, and it has become quite a library. Jack Tolman almost becoming the Norwood historian, it seems like, with all that he's got in there. Joey, I got to wonder if you're on the video on demand at some point if we scroll back a little further.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't been out of NHS for too long, so I think I'm probably in there somewhere just running, I would imagine. Maybe a little winter track at the Reggie.
There you go. Well, either way, it's a nice thing to have as the Norwood High students a little less than a week ago had their class day, and Mr. Tolman was able to get together a really nice video compilation to celebrate the seniors. We saw some preschool videos all the way from back some of the students' time at the Willett, and it was just really nice to see. But back to the action here from Cunningham Park as Reed Dexter leads off, and he takes a ball one outside. Dexter was batting back in the bottom of the third inning, but Sean McDougall was caught stealing at second base. So Dexter, now the hitter who's probably seen the most Cropper pitches today, will find himself in a 2-0 advantage. Cropper going out of the windup. He did walk Dexter in his first at bat, and now he's in danger of doing so again. The count goes to 3-0.
Yep, so tough spot here for Cropper. You never want to start down 3-0. Dexter, as you mentioned, he's patient. He's taking a walk earlier. Looks like he's looking to do the same again.
And he does that on 4 pitches. Cropper walks the leadoff man, Reed Dexter. And given the way, Joey, that Milton has been aggressive on the bases, do you think they think about sending here with the number 9 hitter Hinkle coming up?
Especially with, once again, another pinch runner here for Milton.
So Milton will throw a pinch runner out there once again. Looks like that's number 21. That's another senior for this Milton team, Jeff Potter. So Potter at first base, looks down to his third base coach, gets the sign. You gotta imagine Cropper's thinking about it, whether he's gonna go. He doesn't as he takes his secondary lead, and Hinkle offered at that pitch, 0-1. Looks like Milton is trying to play it safe and go with the sacrifice.
Yeah, so we saw some station-to-station baseball earlier. Looks like we might see a little small ball here as Hinkle squares for the bunt. Keep your eye on the pinch runner on first base as well.
He's not going, and Hinkle pulls it back, 1-1 now. This could be a good opportunity for Milton. Nobody out in the inning, and they've got the top of their lineup coming up next with Owen McHugh and Jimmy Fallon. So a medium-sized lead there at first base for Potter, who's the pinch runner, and offering it and tipping it back into the glove of Oliveria is Hinkle. So 1-2, he's unable to get the bunt down, and now will he do this with 2 strikes? Will he continue to offer?
I would imagine we're going to see Hinkle swing the bat here.
Let's see if Potter's going. Cropper decides to throw over to first base, and Jeff is back in time.
Great move there from Cropper. Had a shot at the pickoff. Dittmeyer, a good pick out of the dirt. Just couldn't get the tag down in time.
Harrison Hinkle struck out in his first at-bat, swinging against Cropper, and now he hits a ground ball to second. Badger is there with it. Norwood will try for 2, but legging it out of first base is Hinkle as Dittmeyer scoops it out of the dirt. So a fielder's choice will put the left fielder Hinkle at first base.
Yep, so once again, Zach Badger doing his job, makes a good pick there. Flips it to Steves at second base. They can't quite turn the double play, so we'll see Hinkle on first base here with Owen McHugh back at the plate here.
So McHugh has grounded out twice today. He grounded out to the shortstop, Steves, back in the first, and to the third baseman, Burgess, back in the second. And there's a quick snap throw to first base, but Hinkle is back in time. Oliveria keeping him close with the right-hander at the dish.
Yeah, good snap throw there from Oliveria, looking to steal an out.
Certainly that's always a pitcher's best friend, especially if your catcher can do it for you. Cropper now looks in, the runner's going, the hit and run is on, it's a base hit to left field, holding at second base is Hinkle, and McHugh is on with his first hit of the contest, and Milton has runners on first and second with 1 out. So that'll bring up Jimmy Fallon, the third baseman. Fallon has put the ball in play both times he's been up. The first time it was a long triple to the left center field gap. The second time it was a hot shot down to third base that was gloved nicely by Quinn Burgess, who retired him for the out. So Fallon officially 1 out of 2, and he bats here with 1 out and men on first and second. Swings through that one. Looked like he was trying to golf it into orbit on that one.
Yeah, it looked like Fallon was trying to repeat his first inning performance there with a golf swing. Again, 1 out, 2 runners on, runner in scoring position here. Fallon was trying to capitalize early.
Here's the 0-1 now for Cropper, who takes a quick couple looks back at second base. Nice block there from Oliveria, but eventually breaking for third base is Hinkle. Joey read that play really well.
Yeah, that was quite the read there from Milton. Oliveria made the good initial stop there. Runner almost got caught in no man's land. Ball just kind of trickled away. And Milton takes third, which once again, they've been dangerous on the base pass all day.
So we'll see if they try to steal here with McHugh on first base, who didn't follow, but it was kind of a tough play the way the ball bounced out of Oliveria's glove and then bare hand. McHugh is going, and it's a ground ball to third base. Nice play by Burgess, whose only play is to first. And they try a quick throw to second base, but McHugh is back there in time.
And so Milton will take another run there. That makes it a 5-0 lead for Milton. Jimmy Fallon does his job, smacks the ball in play. RBI fielder's choice there.
So now with a runner on second base and 2 outs, we'll see Scott Longo come to the dish. Longo obviously has been excellent on the pitcher's mound, but he also had a big double and the first run batted in for Milton back in the first inning. Lays off this one in the dirt as McHugh thought about nabbing third base when he saw the pitch hit, when he saw the pitch hit a little bit of dirt there. 1-0 now on the opposing pitcher. Longo also struck out looking back in the second inning. Cropper will step off second, gives a light throw there. Badger checks him back. The Norwood defense, Joey, has been solid today. We've seen the infield make a number of really nice plays on ground balls. And swinging through that one is Longo.
Yeah, it's been a pretty clean performance from the Mustangs out in the field. Milton just put it where obviously the Mustangs aren't. A couple gap shots. Ryan Kelly almost made an incredible play in right field, but as you mentioned, Joe, especially the infield, they've been knocking everything down, making all the plays you can ask for.
Pitch from Cropper is in the dirt, and McHugh will take third base easily on that one. He slides in and pops up quickly as he even thought about trying to see if he can get home.
Yeah, as the ball gets by Oliveria there, Cropper did a good job sprinting to home plate once he realized it was a pass ball. But as Joe pointed out, interesting decision there from Milton to slide into third base. If he doesn't make that slide, he might have had a shot at taking 2 bags.
I'm sure he wasn't thinking that when he saw the ball first bounce by him. But Cropper, when he's missed, has missed low, and I guess as I say that, he comes high and tight. And that got the Milton bench a little bit riled up as they get excited on the high heat. Didn't seem to phase Scott Longo all that much as he continues to stand in there. Cropper, who's someone who throws in the 90s, has hit as high as 98, and obviously we'll see taking his talents to Northeastern after this year. But he walks Longo here, and now runners at the corners for the always dangerous Jack Finnegan.
Yep, and another dangerous spot here for the Mustangs. As we pointed out earlier, Milton has been active on the base paths, especially in first and third situations. Might see a stolen base attempt or a hit and run here.
So as the wind starts to pick up, and it's getting a little bit chilly here, not your prototypical baseball day in the sunshine, Milton will try to tack on yet another run. They're already up 5-0 here. Running is Longo on the play. Oliveria's throw is to third base, and Quinn Burgess has to lay out for that one. He did a nice job, though, of keeping it in front of him.
Yeah, so an aggressive first and third play there from the Mustangs. You fake the throw down to second, you try to pick off the runner at third. Not quite Oliveria's best throw, but Burgess does his job, gets in the dirt, prevents the ball from getting by in the outfield, saves a run.
So once again, the Norwood infield keeping the ball in the infield. There's a ground ball towards short. A nice play from Steves, who comes up with it, and a good pick at first base from Dittmeyer. But Finnegan is able to leg it out. He certainly is a good athlete. Got down the line in a hurry, and it's a single and an RBI for Jack Finnegan.
And again, the Mustang infield doing everything you could ask for. Sean Steves lays out into the hole there, almost makes a great play at first base. Good pick from senior Sean Dittmeyer at first base. They almost steal the third out of the inning. And Instead, Milton takes another run. It's 6-0 here.
So great hustle by Finnegan makes that happen. And now Beckett will come to the plate here. 2 away in the inning as Dexter was retired on the fielder's choice, and then Fallon had the RBI ground out to third base. KJ Beckett is 1 out of 2 today. He's singled back in the first, and he's also grounded to short. Couple of throws over here from Cropper as he seems to really think that Finnegan's going to be taken off.
Yeah, another good pickoff attempt there from Cropper. Milton has been aggressive on the base pass, so worth a shot, stealing the third out here.
Aggressive lead for Finnegan, who asked his coach to re-roll the signs a moment ago. Oliveria throws through to second base, and the ball skips by Badger. Getting the steal at second is Finnegan, and on the throwing error, the run will come home. That is the 7th run of the game. And Joey, Milton is in danger of putting this game out of reach for the Mustangs at this point. They've scored 3 now in the 4th.
Yep, and once again for Milton, it's that station-to-station baseball. They've had quite a few first and third situations here. They send the runner right away once again. This time the ball does get to the outfield, and they snag another run, 7-0.
So a runner at third now for KJ Beckett. Beckett's single scored a run back in the first inning, so he's already got an RBI to his name. And now he's looking to add more. Here's the pitch, lays off that one. And the Milton bench continues to have everybody up along the fence, although the Norwood team is there as well, so they're certainly not sitting down and giving up here. Although frustration potentially setting in. 7-0 Milton, bottom of the 4th inning, 2 outs in the inning.
Oh, yeah.
Pitch is high and tight. Cropper wanted it, but laying off wisely was Beckett.
So once again, if you're just tuning in, you just fast forwarded. We have 2 outs here. Milton is up 7-0, but with 2 outs, see if the Mustangs can get out of here, limit the damage.
Here's the pitch from Cropper, and Beckett swings through that one. Cropper dialed up the heat on that one, and we can see why he is so dangerous when he's got his stuff working. Jack Cropper, as we mentioned a couple times, heading to Northeastern after this year to continue his baseball career. And he strikes out Beckett here. Beautiful pitch to catch the opposing first baseman looking. So the side is retired, but not before Milton does some more damage. They tack on 3, and they are up now 7-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning.
So for the Mustangs, coming up to the plate this inning, we'll have Zach Badger leading off, followed by Angel Oliveria and Sean Steves.
See what the Norwood offense can get going as we take a quick peek at the score sheet. They've only got 1 hit today, and Joey, I guess depending on who's scoring, that might not even be a hit. It was the weakly hit ground ball by Quinn Burgess he was able to leg out on the infield. The only other times Norwood has been on base is Brian Dearborn, who drew a walk back in the 3rd, and Giacomo Serratori also walked back in the 4th.
Yeah, Longo has absolutely been dealing today. My numbers are correct. He's only got 1 hit, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts today. So he's been active early.
And of those 6 strikeouts, 5 have come of the swinging variety. So you can tell that the Norwood hitters have been thrown a bit. Norwood has extended a couple of their at-bats. We've seen Jack Dwyer seeing a number of extra pitches, fouling some pitches off. Brian Dearborn had a good at-bat that eventually he worked out a walk on. So we haven't been keeping exactly what the pitch count is, but for the time being, it looks like Longo is good to go. So they'll take their last couple of warm-up tosses here. If you're just joining us, thanks for checking out Video on Demand on NCM's site. You can go back and watch a lot of the Norwood sporting events or even graduation not all that long ago. We both were proud to see a number of our students walking across the football field there to collect their diplomas.
Yeah, you don't have to scroll too far back for that one.
That's right.
You'll see quite a few seniors from this baseball team. Sean Dittmeyer, Jack Cropper, Quinn Burgess, Sean Steves, Ryan Kelly, all walking across the football field to get their diplomas.
Absolutely, and that's just the players who are in the lineup today. Norwood with a number of seniors up and down the roster. So they'll finish up the warm-up tosses for Longo here, and we'll get ready to get going. Zach Badger will lead things off. Badger grounded out to second base and has done a nice job at second base, having to play a lot of balls in the dirt on some throws down to second. And he's also done a nice job defensively, making some good pickups on some hot shots.
Yeah, Badger.
Longo, he misses there.
Badger, as you mentioned, Joe, several putouts today. Snagged a line drive in the dirt, made a good pick at second base on a stolen base.
And he takes a good hack at this one. Fouls it behind home plate, so now 1-1 on him. Badger a junior, so he'll be one of the elder statesmen on this Norwood baseball team next year. Also a member of the hockey team. We got to see him in goal a couple times this year and did a nice job there.
And I believe Badger has a couple appearances on the mound this year as well. So especially next year as a senior, you'll probably see him on the bump.
Absolutely. Swings and he fouls this one away. Zach, also somebody that I have the pleasure of teaching in class. He's been an excellent student this year in physics, so he gets it done on the field and off the field. Certainly a scholar athlete in every sense of the word. Really nice kid as well, so always a pleasure seeing him. Hits this one to first base. Beckett will have to run quickly, and he will get there in time. KJ decides to keep it, and he gets the unassisted put out on that one. So that brings up Angel Oliveria, the catcher. Oliveria popped out to second base, his first at bat, but he'll look to do some more damage here with one away. Pitch coming, and Angel takes a strike on this one. Oliveria, TVL honorable mention in his first full season as Norwood starting catcher. Had some big shoes to fill with Miles Kidd doing a nice job there last year. And he's done a very admirable job, but he finds himself down here 0-2.
Yep, and Longo once again coming with the off speed. That was quite the curveball there, dropped it into the zone.
Another curveball, and then he retires Oliveria on 3 pitches. 7th strikeout of the game for Scott Longo. And just as it feels like we keep saying a lot, that will bring up another previous strikeout victim in Sean Steves. And Steves pops it up. Is it playable? Well, it's playable for the Milton bench as they kind of crowd around that pop-up like grapes over there. But it's quickly now 0-1 on Steves.
And Steves, another one of those infielders we've seen make some pretty great plays today. He can carry a little momentum at the plate here, get on base, see if we can get the Mustangs going.
Longo mixing up his pitches really well here as he took something off the first one, came back with a heater. Now the changeup misses high. And so now 1-2 here on Sean Steves. Brian Dearborn would be next. Steve swings and he pops this one on up. Could be a no man's land though. Coming in is the left fielder, and ultimately making the grab is Harrison Hinkle. So 3 up, 3 down for Scott Longo as he continues to cruise along. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Still 7-0 Milton.
And again for Longo, that makes it 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. So pitcher's duel we were anticipating, Longo's bringing it today.
Absolutely. It looks like Norwood, though, will go to the bullpen here. They're going to get Sean Dittmeyer, one of their senior captains out there. Dittmeyer has followed Cropper in games before. The two of them combined on a no-hitter against Braintree earlier this year. And we'll check around for a couple other substitutions. Looks like Owen Desjardins has come in to play first base for the Mustangs. We saw Owen and Sean both taking some warm-ups there earlier. And elsewhere through the field, we'll have to get our binoculars, but it looks like that's still Jack Dwyer out there in left field. So from my eyes, Joey, it looks like the only changes are Dittmeyer now on the mound, Desjardins out there at first base, and Cropper is out of this game, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that looks correct to me, Joe. I believe we mentioned it earlier, but Desjardins pitched a heck of a game the other day in West Springfield. 2-0 victory for the Mustangs. From what I read, he was commanding the strike zone, threw nothing but strikes all day, and the Mustangs squeaked out a 2-0 win on the road.
Didn't even walk a batter. I saw Zach Badger first thing this morning, and I was talking to Zach a little bit about the game on Monday. And the first thing Zach said was his command was excellent. He didn't walk a single batter, and he kept Norwood in it the whole time. And the Mustangs came away with a 2-0 victory. And that was quite a call for Coach Kevin Igo. You know, you've got one of the top pitchers in the state in Cropper, but he showed a lot of trust in the junior Desjardins, throwing him in an elimination game.
Yeah, that's quite the conundrum. I think a few of us talked about it for a few days. What do you do there as a manager? Do you go with your number one, throw your ace on the road, try to ensure the first win? Or you go with one of the younger guys, see if you can save Cropper for game 2, and he did exactly that. Desjardins did his job, and now we'll see him at first base.
So Dittmeyer finishes out his warm-up tosses, and we'll see how Milton is able to fare here against the lefty. They do have a couple lefties coming up in the inning. Max Dunn is a right-hander who'll lead off, but then Sean McDougall, the second baseman, and Reed Dexter, the right fielder, both bat from the left side. So I've got to imagine that's something that plays into Igo's decision here to go to the bullpen, perhaps a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
Yep, and the senior Dittmeyer's kind of been a jack of all trades for the Mustangs the past few years. He's quite the athlete, makes some great plays at first base, comes in relief. I believe in years past we've also, despite being a lefty, we've seen Dittmeyer at shortstop and behind the plate at catcher.
He can do it all. Yeah, lefty catcher. Don't see that too often. And Dittmeyer misses upstairs there, 2-0, as he shakes this one on off and will look to get a better grip. Just a nice kid as well. Sean's somebody I mentioned I had him very early in his high school career. One of those kids who always says hello in the hallway and smiles at you each time you see him. So we'll miss him certainly at the school on the hill. Dunn drives this one out towards right field. It's a long run for Ryan Kelly, who's not going to get there, but the ball goes into foul territory harmlessly.
Yep, and so Dunn fouls one off there. That was almost in the danger zone in right field. With Kelly shading a little towards center, looks like he's going to make an adjustment there after the foul ball. We'll see Kelly a little closer to the foul line.
Dunn has been on base both times he's been up, but Norwood hoping that this pop-up will end that streak. Zach Badger calling for it, and Zach makes a nice grab to retire Dunn for the first time.
Once again, Badger all over the field today. Goes out in the outfield grass, snags that pop-up. One batter, one out for Dittmeyer.
Called it nice and loud, too. You got to love to see that as a coach, don't you? Good fundamentals as Zach squeezed it with two hands. So here's the first of back-to-back lefties now for Milton, as Sean McDougall will stand in against the left-hander Dittmeyer. Sean does his job against the righty, and now he'll have a little bit of the platoon side advantage against the lefty McDougall. Sean McDougall is 1 out of 2 today. He struck out swinging against Cropper back in the first, and he singled and was eventually caught stealing in the third. There was a hot shot back to the mound, and Sean looks to be shaken up. I think that ball got him square on the hand.
Yeah, quite the laser there from McDougall. Straight back at Dittmeyer. It's tough to tell. I thought he might have initially knocked it down with his glove, but he's flexing his hand a little bit. Looks like it might have made contact with the body, but Dittmeyer reacts immediately, picks up the ball, makes a play at first base, and he's a hockey guy, so he's going to stay on the mound.
That just goes to show you how tough he is. That ball came screaming off the bat, and with the aluminum bats we have in high school baseball, that's even different than having it come off wood. Dittmeyer is still kind of moving those fingers around. The umpire checked on him, but man, is he tough, Joey. He'll continue to battle out there, and now he'll go against Dexter. So Reed Dexter, another left-handed batter, swings through that one. I tell you, Sean doesn't look too much worse for the wear as he throws a really nice curveball and gets Dexter swinging at it.
Yeah, quite the bounce back there from Dittmeyer. First pitch strike right away after getting a line drive straight back at your face. Pretty impressive.
Man. He is certainly one tough cookie. He deals here. And fouling it right back to the screen is Dexter. 0-2 very quickly on him. Harrison Hinkle looms in the on-deck circle. In the meantime, Reed Dexter, just as his counterpart Dunn had been a couple moments ago, has been on base via the walk both times he's been up. Now he grounds this one out towards first base. Reaching forward is Desjardins, and a nice job on the wheel play from the Mustangs as Dittmeyer gets there to retire the side.
So once again, another impressive effort there from Dittmeyer after the scary line drive straight back to the mound. Hustles over to first base, makes a great play. 3 batters, 3 outs for Dittmeyers. And it looks like we're going to take a little break here as we head into the top of the 6th.
We are through 5 here. It is still 7-0 Milton. Norwood will look to get the bats going when we return. Welcome back, folks, to Cunningham Park. Joe Panola, Joey O'Connor with you for the top of the 6th inning. And swinging away at the first pitch for Norwood is the number 9 hitter, Brian Dearborn. Joey, it's a 7-0 lead for the Wildcats. Norwood has to get their bats going, and we'll see if it starts with the sophomore Dearborn.
This is our broadcast.
It looks like it might.
That. Oh, but a great diving catch. Look at Reed Dexter out in right field. Tell you, Dearborn hit it in a good spot, but Dexter chased it the whole way and laid out, made a fantastic play.
Yeah, nice little cue shot to right field from Dearborn there, but a heck of a play from Milton as Dexter lays out, makes a diving effort. 1 batter, 1 out for Milton.
So that'll bring up Sean Dittmeyer. Dittmeyer was hit with a comebacker just moments ago. It was a hot shot off the bat of Reed Dexter, who just made the great play out there in right field. But as we see the pitch coming and Sean fouls it away. Excuse me, it was off the bat of Sean McDougal. But Ditt made a great play, got the put out at first base and stayed in the game. And now he comes up in a big spot offensively.
Yeah, and he recovered nicely on the mound for the rest of the inning. See if he can recover at the plate. Sometimes a situation like that wakes you up a little bit.
See if that could be the spark that Norwood needs here. Dittmeyer is 0 for 2 today. He struck out swinging to lead off the game, and he also grounded out to third base to end the 3rd inning. With his 3rd opportunity here, Sean's had a great career at the school on the hill, putting up some good offensive and pitching numbers. Scott Longo still on the mound here, tries a curveball, and he gets Dittmeyer looking. Strike 3, and it's the 8th strikeout of the contest for Scott Longo, who all the way into the middle of the 6th inning continues to look dynamite.
Yeah, and Longo once again drops in that lethal off-speed pitch, a little high curveball, drops into the top of the zone. Dittmeyer goes down looking, and we'll see Owen Desjardins, who was checked into the game, in Jack Cropper's spot.
So a lefty-lefty matchup here as Desjardins lays off that one for strike 1. Jack Cropper was 0 for 2. He struck out looking and he flied out to center field. And now it'll be Desjardins tasked with filling his shoes. Owen, as Joey mentioned, came in to play first base when Sean Dittmeyer was summoned to the pitcher's mound back in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the 0-2 from Longo. Oh, a good take from Owen. I thought he was going to pull the string on that one.
Yeah, Longo tries to drop in that off-speed curveball once again, drops him in the dirt. Looks like Desjardins almost chased and held off there. Stays alive at the plate.
1-2 though, he's still in a hole. Lays off that one low, so a nice job from the junior, who lays off 2 tough pitches to battle back to 2-2. Sky is starting to get a little bit darker here, as it might look like rain, but this game cruising along. We're in the top of the 6th. And there is strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to finish out the 6th, excuse me, both of them of the looking variety, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 7-0 Milton.
So after 6 innings, Longo still going strong, still dealing. He's approaching double-digit strikeout numbers with 9 strikeouts today. And it looks like for the Mustangs, we're going to see senior Conrad Schletzbaum take the bump here.
Look at this. So Norwood has gone with the righty Cropper, the lefty Dittmeyer for an inning, and now Conrad Schletzbaum after an admirable job from Sean Dittmeyer. So as Conrad takes his warm-up pitches, Joey, we got to talk about the job that Sean Dittmeyer did coming in and really settling things down. He threw a 1-2-3 inning, and I suppose this year his MIAA playoff record is unblemished.
Yeah, and it's actually impressive. He's staying in the game as well. It looks like he's moving over to first base.
So if you're keeping score at home or keeping score with our video, it looks like Schletzbaum will be slotted into Desjardins' spot in the lineup card. Dittmeyer will retain his. And Sean showing no ill effects of being hit by a comebacker in that 5th inning. So perhaps that played into Coach Igo's decision to go to the bullpen here. Either way, a nice chance for Conrad Schletzbaum, who really will get perhaps one final go as a senior here.
Yeah, he's a senior flamethrower for the Mustangs. Looks like he deals exclusively out of the stretch. I had the fortune of working with Conrad for CYO basketball this year, so I got to know him pretty well. And from what some of these other guys have told me, Burgess, Badger also played CYO basketball. They said Conrad can deal. He throws hard, he throws fast. He has admittedly told me before, sometimes he doesn't exactly know where it's going. But we'll see Conrad in a big spot here. Awesome to see him on the bump in the playoffs.
So he's a little bit outside there. Norwood will hope that he can be effectively wild for them today, but he certainly is an imposing presence on the mound. Leading off the inning for Milton will be Harrison Hinkle. Hinkle playing left field today. He's officially 0 for 2. He struck out swinging back in the first against Cropper, and then he grounded into a fielder's choice back in the fourth.
And great spot there from Schletzbaum. Well, outside cheese, bringing the heat early. See if you can get dealing here.
Hey, Joe, you weren't lying about him being able to throw hard. Here's the pitch coming, and it's a ground ball towards first base. What a scoop from Sean Dittmeyer, who takes it himself.
Great pick there. Great pick from Dittmeyer at first base. That was not a routine play. Pretty hard hit ball, line drive, short hop. Dittmeyer picks it, can of corn, steps on first base. One batter, one out for Schletzbaum.
This Norwood infield of Dittmeyer, Badger, Steves, and Burgess has been outstanding today. In fact, I can't really remember a ground ball that they've had a decent shot on that's gone by any of them.
Yeah, the infield has come to play today. With a 7-0 score, you'd think there may be some errors, some balls squeaked by them, but they've made every play you could ask for.
So 1-0 here as Owen McHugh, the leadoff hitter for Milton, lays off the first pitch from Schletzbaum. And now he swings and he drives this one out towards right center. Ryan Kelly, though, is there as he sizes it up, and they are quickly 2 away.
Yep, and speaking of seniors making plays, Ryan Kelly takes a couple steps back in right field, opens his hips, can of corn in right field. So Schletzbaum, 2 batters, 2 outs.
So that'll bring Jimmy Fallon to the plate. Fallon is 1 out of 3 today, but his one was certainly one that looms large in today's game. It opened the scoring in the first inning, a long triple out towards left center. He's also grounded to third base twice, so Quinn Burgess might want to watch out on this one. 1-0 here on the senior third baseman. We'll be playing some, I believe, college hockey next year.
Baseball.
There's a strike that Schletzbaum gets over. Looks like he's got some off-speed stuff in there as well.
Yeah, Schletzbaum mixing it up a little bit, coming with the off-speed. Looks like it was a little on the outside corner. Good spot, good pitch from Conrad.
Pitch coming to Fallon is another good one, and he gets it in there for a strike. So now 1-2 on the Milton third baseman.
Yeah, and Schletzbaum opts for the low fastball there. We'll see what he brings here with 2 strikes.
He likes the sign there from Oliveria. Angel sets up outside. Pitch coming, and it's fisted into right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting from Jimmy Fallon, and Ryan Kelly will get it in. So Jimmy's on base for the second time today, and that'll bring up the opposing pitcher, Scott Longo.
Yeah, an impressive swing there from Fallon. Looks like he was a little jammed. Takes it to right field. Cue shot in the right field with a nice single. 2 outs. Fallon will be on first base, and we'll see Longo at the plate here.
With 2 outs, we'll see if Milton decides to put Fallon in motion. They do. He's breaking towards second base. Taking all the way was Longo. Fallon will break towards third as the ball gets away from Oliveria, and he's in there without a throw.
And Milton aggressive again on the base pass. That's been the story of the day.
So a costly, potentially wild pitch from Schletzbaum. And now Scott Longo with a man 90 feet away. We'll see if he can bring him home. 1-0 on the Milton pitcher. Conrad Schletzbaum deals, and he misses outside, now 2-0.
And again, we see Milton go on the very first pitch of the at-bat. Fallon doesn't hesitate, doesn't slide into second base as his bench gives him a heads up that it's a pass ball, and he goes straight to third base. Heads up base running there from Milton.
Here's the 2-0 delivery, and Schletzbaum misses again. So we talked about the fact that Conrad has some good stuff, but that wildness perhaps coming to play here in this at-bat with Longo. Jack Finnegan would be next for the Wildcats. But in the meantime, the pitch now to Longo is upstairs, and he walked him on 4 pitches. So runners at the corners for the Milton catcher, Jack Finnegan. Jack is 2 out of 3 today. Singled back in the first, grounded out to shortstop in the third, and also singled and stole a base back in the 4th inning.
And once again, we'll see Milton opt for the pinch runner here in another first and third situation. This is where they've scored a lot of their runs today. Would not be surprised to see them go for another stolen base here again.
Apologies to the viewers from Milton, as we originally had Max Dunn listed on our scorecard as wearing number 22. Oh, he was leaning. And Schletzbaum almost got him with the pickoff move, so we can't quite put a name to the runner at first base as Milton has switched up their jerseys. But that runner taking a pretty healthy lead. He is going, and the pitch is flied out towards left field. Jack Dwyer coming in. It goes off his glove. Dwyer makes a diving attempt. He'll try to throw all the way to home plate. The runner is in there safely. 2-run score on the base hit from Jack Finnegan, his third hit of the day.
Some pretty good contact there from Milton. Good poke to left field. Jack Dwyer uses his speed, lays out. Looks like it hit his glove, but on the way down, popped out. So Milton will steal 2 more here. 2 outs and a runner on second for Conrad Schletzbaum.
9-0 Wildcats as KJ Beckett comes to the dish now against Schletzbaum. The runner on second base is Finnegan, who is now 3 out of 4 today. And there's immediately ball 1 as Oliveria implores Schletzbaum to bring his pitches up in the zone a bit more. It was a good diving attempt from Dwyer, who got a glove on it, but it popped out, unfortunately for him, and fell harmlessly, at least for Milton, to the ground. Getting a piece of that one was Beckett, so now 1-1. And Joey, as we glance a little bit down the third base line out towards that left field corner, it looks like Milton is getting their bullpen going. So perhaps we're going to see Longo end his day after 6, as the Wildcats will try to put the finishing touches on this round of 16 game. But in the meantime, KJ Beckett takes ball 2, and now it's 2-1.
And again, story of the day for Milton is they've been aggressive on the base pass, and it looks like we're going to get another pinch runner here for Milton.
Yeah, my guess is this doesn't really have anything to do with the speed of Finnegan. Maybe it's a little bit of a speed-up rule type of thing, with him doing the catching and Milton up 9-0 in the contest. So Finnegan will strap on the gear. KJ Beckett, though, trying to make that a little bit of a waste of their time, as he's going to try to get on base himself and keep this inning going. Pitch coming, and Schletzbaum gets that one over for a strike. Nice job by Conrad coming back and throwing a strike on that one.
Yeah, great pitch there from Schletzbaum. He's been painting the outside corners. See if he can toss another one in there.
Threw a nice outside pitch to Fallon that Jimmy was able to fight off for a single that kept the inning going. This one is in the dirt. Swinging through it is Beckett, but Norwood completes the throw down to first base, and Beckett is retired via the strikeout. So 2 runs in the inning, 2 hits, 1 left on for Milton. But perhaps more importantly, they have a 9-0 lead now as we head to the top of the 7th.
And as we head to the 7th here, we're going to see Quinn Burgess leading off this inning. So the senior third baseman who's been making plays all day, see if he can get on base to mount a little comeback here for the Mustangs.
It will be Burgess, Saratori, and Jack Dwyer, as the Milton team may be trying to close the doors on Norwood a little bit earlier, as we hear Semisonic's closing time starting to come through the speakers. If you're Norwood, Joey, you got 3, 4, 5 in your order. So if you're going to have a rally, these are the guys you want to start it with.
Yeah, as we mentioned, you got your senior leader, Quinn Burgess. You got your junior power hitter, Giacomo Saratori. And then you got your sophomore flyer, Jack Dwyer, coming up. So 3 pretty good guys to come up against a relief pitcher. We're going to see Longo is out of the game.
So we'll get the final tosses here. Milton has gone to the bullpen. We'll get a look throughout the rest of the field, as it looks like Scott Longo has earned his rest here. And again, due to the jersey mix-up for Milton, we don't have a number 1 on our roster. So if we're guessing at a name, it would only be conjecture at this point. Apologies for that if you're watching us from Milton. But in the meantime, Quinn Burgess will get ready. Interesting that and this must have been the plan all along, I imagine, Joey, for Coach Morrissey and the Milton team to go to the bullpen here, because you've got the lefty Burgess leading off the inning, but they decided to take the lefty out and go with the righty-lefty matchup instead, which normally you don't want a right-handed pitcher facing a lefty.
Yeah, definitely an interesting decision there, Joe. As you mentioned, Longo, especially against Burgess, had been dropping those curveballs in all day. Burgess snuck in the only hit of the Mustangs' day with a dribbling ground ball, but we'll see the righty against Burgess here. So maybe Burgess can capitalize on this opportunity. Maybe a better arm slot for him to smack one and play against.
Well, in the meantime, if you want bulletin board material, if you're the Mustangs, all you have to do is listen to the music coming out. They are playing closing time, and they're continuing to let this go as they will look to finish things here. Milton is the #1 seed in this Division II bracket. They had a pretty close win in their first game. Number 32, North Quincy, gave them a run, but Milton ended up pulling out a 4-2 victory. Both teams scored a couple of runs in the first inning, and then Milton, with 2 in the 5th, was able to put it away. But they're feeling a little confident now with a 9-0 lead, seeing if they can put things away and potentially get Owen McHugh back on the bump for their next game. But it's quickly now 2-0. And the wonderful thing about baseball, Joey, there's no clock. So if Norwood can keep getting guys on base, you never know.
Yep, and some good patience here from Burgess to start this inning. Sometimes you get a new guy in the bumps, guys start swinging right away. Burgess opts to see the first 3 pitches of the at-bat, make it 4, but that will make it a 2-2 count.
And I'm sure that Norwood coaching staff and Coach Kevin Igo just preaching the fact that we need base runners at this point. Somebody hitting it out of the park certainly would be nice, but that's still going to be a long ways away. They need to jam up the bases with Mustangs.
So Burgess fouls one off backwards here, still a 2-2 count.
Going out of the windup, #1 for the Milton Wildcats. The pitch misses a little bit low. Again, apologies that we don't know exactly who's on the mound right now for Milton, but he finds himself in a full count here against Quinn Burgess, who spoils another one foul.
Yeah, and Burgess once again staying alive at the plate with 2 strikes. Looks like he's seeing the ball a little better against the righty here.
One of Milton's top arms is Tommy Mitchell. Mitchell, though, we believe still on the shelf, as he was having a little bit of elbow trouble earlier this year. He is someone who is, at least from what we've seen, committed to play baseball next year, or potentially, I believe, the year after. I believe he might be a junior. And it looks like Burgess has worked out a walk, so Quinn sees a lot of pitches in that at-bat, I believe 9 total, and gets down to first base with a giving Norwood a base runner with nobody out here for Giacomo Serratori.
Yeah, great first at-bat of the inning for the Mustangs in do-or-die time. Quinn Burgess forces a lot of pitches, takes a free bag with a walk, and he'll be on first base for Giacomo Serratori.
Oh, and there was a quick pickoff move to first. The ball gets by the pitcher here as Beckett threw it back. So perhaps Milton getting a little sloppy here.
Good pickoff attempt, though, from Milton. Burgess was still moving towards second base. That was a little closer than you'd like if you're the Mustangs at first.
Maybe that's something that wakes Quinn up a little bit here. Takes a hefty lead off second. He's not going anywhere, though. And this pitch is a curveball that does get inside on Serratori for strike 1. Can't imagine, Joey, that Norwood is going to be trying to swipe too many bags down 9 here in the 7th inning, but I guess stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see Burgess going anywhere until the ball's in play. But Serratori, the junior designated hitter at the plate, he's one of the only batters that took a walk earlier in the game. He ended up on second base. I believe he's actually the only Mustang batter that got into scoring position today.
Yeah, it's been a quiet night for the Mustang offense. Burgess, the runner on first base, is the only Mustang that's been on twice, as he singled back in the first inning, and now he's walked here in the 7th. Pitch coming to Serratori is high, and another quick snap throw to first base. Looks like Milton just wants to retire Burgess on the bases rather than going after any more of these batters.
Yep. Oh, my gosh, and here we go again.
Another throw over, so they continue to keep Burgess close. He's probably looking at him saying, hey, guys, I'm not going anywhere. He's been diving back safely a number of times. This one is in the dirt. Burgess thinks about it, but scampers back quickly.
Yep, Burgess taking some pretty aggressive secondary leads there. Kind of surprised Milton didn't throw down again on the ball in the dirt.
Maybe giving the Milton pitcher a little extra to think about here. This one is outside, and Serratori has worked his second walk of the contest. Back-to-back walks after Milton went to the bullpen, and now maybe Norwood's got something cooking.
Yeah, so again, pretty ideal start here for the Mustangs. New pitcher, force a couple walks. You got 2 runners on here with no outs for the speedster, Jack Dwyer. Great at-bat there from Giacomo Serratori, and we'll see Quinn Burgess now in scoring position. He was already being pretty aggressive on first base. See if we can get him home for Norwood.
Jack Dwyer, the left fielder, coming up. He's 0 for 2 today. He grounded out to first base back in the second, and he also struck out swinging against the starter today, Scott Longo. In the meantime, now he faces the right-hander out of the bullpen for Milton. Dwyer gets out of the way of that one. It was an off-speed pitch that I think the Milton pitcher just kind of lost the handle on.
Yeah, it looks like that got behind Dwyer's back there.
Yep.
That would have been one of the ones that would have been nice for the Mustangs if that happened to hit Dwyer right in the numbers.
It was an off-speed pitch, and I kind of wonder if Jack would have tried to wear it there. In the meantime, though, the Milton pitcher comes right back at him and throws a strike, so it's 1-1 on the Norwood left fielder. Dwyer swings at high heat on that one. Boy, he really climbed the ladder on that.
Yeah, Dwyer helping out the pitcher there, just swung at one over his head. See if he can recover here with 2 strikes.
So 1-2, a really good situation for Milton. But Norwood with 2 runners on. Dwyer swings and fouls it back. Finnegan can't quite glove it as it goes off his mask.
So Dwyer tough with 2, swinging at a strike there. Again, he's one of those kids where all he needs to do is smack one and play. He's fast enough to leg out just about anything.
Another member of the Norwood football team, as we have a number of multi-sport athletes, but he's certainly not too happy about that result as he goes down swinging for the second time today. So Norwood in a little bit of a tough spot here.
And it looks like we're going to see a pinch hitter for number 4, Zach Badger, the junior second baseman.
So this is Dom Jampa. So Dom, another senior for this Norwood team, is getting a big opportunity here. Jampa heading to Fairfield next year, so we wish him luck on the when he heads off to continue his studies in college. But in the meantime, batting from the left side against the righty, lays off that pitch on the inside part of the plate, and it's 1-1.
Yep, anytime you get to tourney time, it's always great to see the seniors get their reps. You see Conrad Schletzbaum on the bump. You see Dom Giampa check in at the plate here.
And Giampa lays off that one, so nice job from the senior, showing some good poise at the plate, continuing to let some of these sail by. The pitch coming. And this one misses low, so Dom works out a walk. And just like that, Norwood has the bases loaded with 1 out. And will they go with another pinch hitter here? Looks like they will. The Mustangs continuing to empty their bench. Joey, we might need our binoculars, though, on this one. This was Angel Oliveria's spot in the batting lineup, but it looks like he's being pinch hit for. And the Milton pitching coach will come out to the mound. Milton had gone to the bullpen this inning after Scott Longo was fantastic for them. Longo threw 6 innings of shutout ball, striking out, I believe, 8 in the process. But now that they've gone to the bullpen, there have been 3 walks and a strikeout. And with 1 away, the Mustangs, even though they're down 9, have the bases loaded. So a pinch hitter at the plate for Norwood as Oliveria will head to the bench here.
Yep, so the Mustangs with 3 runners on base here, showing great patience. Pretty good opportunity here with 1 out. Milton battling back, though. They got 2 strikes early, so.
And it looks like, as we finally see the back of the jersey, I think this is Jerry Fry wearing number 25. Jerry, who's been used in a couple situations as a pitcher for the Mustangs, and he gets a hold of this one, and a nice call from Coach Kevin Igo as Fry singles out towards left field. Down 9 runs, Norwood will play it station to station and not try to get thrown out at the plate. But it's the second hit of the day for the Mustangs, a base hit and a run batted in for pinch hitter Jerry Fry.
Yeah, great at bat there from Jerry Fry. Goes down early, 0-2. Squares up for a little low cue shot to the outfield over the shortstop's head. That's going to be an RBI single, and Norwood is officially on the board.
So here is Sean Steves, the shortstop, and Steves collects a base hit out towards right. Once again, Norwood going station to station. So don't look away now. The Mustangs have scored 2. They still have the bases loaded, and there's only 1 out.
And again, we said it earlier, Joe, but this is the time of the year where you got to rely on your upperclassmen. Your seniors got to come to play. That's 2 upperclassmen with 2 RBI singles as Norwood's looking to battle back, and they forced the first relief pitcher out of the game here.
Wow, so again, because of the jersey swaps that we've been seeing from Milton, we don't have a number 1 on our scorecard, so apologies for that. But he did not fare all that well. Walked 3 batters, gave up 2 hits, did get the strikeout of Dwyer. But with only 1 out here in the 7th inning, Milton now finds himself in a spot that they maybe did not expect to be when they were playing closing time heading to the top of the 7th.
Yeah, and it looks like Milton's going to opt for a lefty here, number 18. And he's got quite the delivery, an interesting motion here.
So we'll look through our list, and this looks like it's Ben Catadell. Catadell is a senior for this Milton team and did pitch back in their win in the last round against North Quincy. So Ben will try to close things out. In fact, he did pick up the save in that game, so not a surprise to see him be the fireman out of Coach Morrissey's bullpen. In the meantime, it looks like, at least from our angle, Norwood hasn't announced their pinch hitter yet, or perhaps they have and he's just out of view. I imagine they're not going to go with Dearborn. It seems like Coach Igo has been rolling with his seniors here.
It looks like Dearborn is
are.
warming up, though. As a righty, maybe they're keeping him in this game against the lefty here. Dearborn's had a couple good at-bats so far today. He had the walk. He hit a nice shot to right field where Milton made a great play. So it looks like they're going to stay with the hot hands. And again, if you're Norwood, Dearborn and Dittmeyer coming up next are both right-handed batters. So they'll have the advantage against this lefty with the bases loaded. With only 1 out here, Norwood is still very much alive.
A lot of trust here in the sophomore Dearborn as we hear a little bit of the outfield playing over the speakers here with Your Love. And Norwood, I guess, hoping that Dearborn can put the ball out there.
I was going to say, hopefully a little foreshadowing for the Mustangs.
And if you're Sean Dittmeyer, I don't think you expected to be in the on-deck circle at all anymore in your high school career, but that's where he finds himself here. We'll see if Dearborn can scratch another run across, but he swings through the first pitch. And very quickly 0-1. A nice toss there from Catadell.
And something to take note of as well, it looks like Jack Cropper is in the hole, so it looks like he's going to be re-entering the game and batting.
And there's a fly ball out to the outfield. It falls for a base hit. 3 hits in a row for the Mustangs. That's more hits than they've had all game just here in the 7th inning.
And Brian Dearborn, the sophomore, again, as we mentioned, showing great poise, just like the basketball season. He's had 3 great at-bats today. Finally gets rewarded with an RBI single where he put his last ball right to right field. And here comes your senior captain, Sean Dittmeyer, in a great spot.
First pitch from Catadell, and Dittmeyer swings and pops it up high in the infield. And just on the edge of the grass is the shortstop, Liam McHugh. That is a big out for Ben Catadell and this Milton team. Dittmeyer possibly kicking himself on that one. He goes after the first pitch. I like the aggressive approach. But now there are 2 away, and maybe we wouldn't have it any other way. Jack Cropper is coming back up to bat for the Mustangs.
So Cropper here with a shot at redemption. Base is loaded. Senior captain started the game on the mound. He can keep the game going here at the plate.
The Mustangs seniors have been instrumental. They try a pickoff move at second base, but Sean Steves, who's over there, is back in time. They've gotten some big pinch hits here in this inning. Jerry Fry picked up a pinch hit single. Dom Giampa came off the bench and drew a big walk. And now the base is loaded with 2 away. This pitch is a little bit off the mark. It looks like 1-1 now on Cropper. Working out of the stretch here is Ben Catadell. The pitch coming, and Cropper just barely got a piece of that one, fouls it away, and Norwood down to their last strike.
Yep, so Cropper fights that one off a little low, tips it backwards, so 2 strikes here, bases loaded, 2 outs. Cropper looking to keep the game alive for Norwood.
Catadell, as we mentioned, working out of the stretch with the bases loaded. Here comes the pitch. And Cropper lays off that one. Oh, Joey, looks like that Milton bench was about to explode. A good take from the Norwood senior captain.
Yeah, Milton really wanted that one. A little too low, though. A little too far below Cropper's knees. So good eye from Cropper.
Pitch coming, and Cropper hits a fly ball basically out towards us. I think this one will get out of play, and a couple of fans are very close to it. Looks like one of them made a really nice barehanded grab.
So Cropper with 2 outs, keeping the game alive. Tough with 2. He'll live to see another pitch. Mustangs hopefully will live to see another at bat.
Fry the runner on third. Steve's the runner at second. And Dearborn gets his lead off first. Here's the pitch to Cropper. Got it over. Strike 3. And Milton is moving on to the Elite Eight.
And from Milton, another lefty drops in another filthy off-speed curveball for a K. That was another theme of the day here for Milton. Those lefties were dropping in off-speed pitches all day. So Milton takes this one home against your Norwood Mustangs.
So a nice performance today from the Milton Wildcats, a really complete game for them. They end up with a winning score of 9-3 here. But Joey, this game was really not close for a lot of it. 9-0. Norwood tried to do their best to rally. Their seniors almost willed them back into it. But in the end, it's Milton that is moving on. The 1 seed advances to play the winner of either Holliston or Plymouth North.
Yeah, good fight there from the Mustang seniors in this last inning. A couple pinch hitters showed some great patience, great poise. They fought back. Brian Dearborn, a couple great at-bats. Unfortunately, they just didn't have enough. They let up too much too early. And Milton takes this one home 9-3.
Scott Longo pitched fantastic today. I guess we can give out a player of the game. That would be Scott Longo, as he was dynamite for the Wildcats today. But congratulations to the Norwood seniors, who, although the score didn't go the way they wanted, Joey, they had a great career here at the school on the hill, and we wish them well. Yeah,
they put together a heck of a season, pretty deep run into the MIA playoffs, and we wish them all the best next year.
And good luck to Milton as they continue to move on in this tournament. As we mentioned, Holliston and Plymouth North, they're playing right now, actually. I haven't gotten an update on the score, but they will be taking on Milton as they'll travel here to Cunningham Park in the next couple of days.
Yep, so from Cunningham Park, Milton 9, Norwood 3. Thanks for having us.
Thanks to Tim Rose on cameras for us today, and to everyone at MCM. We hope to see you for another sporting event soon.
Have a great night.